Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to your weekly and a new update on Tesla. We're going to do a full analysis right here on Tesla. We'll look at the higher time frames. We'll take a look at the lower time frames, which is where we are looking at right now. We will start off zoomed out, and then obviously we will talk a little bit about the news. But I mean, there's not that much news that I think we need to talk about regarding Tesla. Apart from the earnings that are coming out tomorrow. They're coming out the 23rd of July. Not sure when you're watching this video, after market hours. All right, so we will see most of the reaction probably in other markets on Tesla the day after, and then especially the US session open the 24th. So it's going to be very, very volatile. I have my expectations. I have my plans for the earnings. But outside of just looking at, what is Tesla doing, what should we expect based on the technicals, we'll also talk about that and the different possibilities that earnings data can get for Tesla, with some interesting things that I think a lot of you do not know, but that is an assumption, and maybe that's an unfair assumption, but we'll talk about it. So let's get right into it. So on the higher time frames, Tesla has been moving fully as expected. If you watch my last video somewhere last week, I'm not sure when it was, maybe Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, what we saw is that Tesla was holding incredibly well right here around $290. I want to say, unless we see some sort of a major fundamental change in the financial markets, I would say every time that Tesla drops down below $300, it's a buy. All right, just on the higher time frames, we have built such a beautiful structure, which with so much support basically all the way down into $270, that I do not see that breaking, right? For a structure break like that, so for Tesla to drop down below that, we would need some massively bearish news. And even if we have some massively bearish news, I would say, a little bit lower than 300, but towards 270, 260 is still a buy. You can say a lot about Tesla, and there's been a lot of scrutiny, there's been a lot of controversy around Tesla, but ultimately I still think it is a great company, and I still think they're very much innovating and becoming a better company. Obviously the electric car industry and the electric car competition has become more and more, but they're very much diversifying and innovating around that. So I think it's fine to buy down there, but we got a great bounce there. That was to be expected. If you watch my video, we always said that. But ultimately, Tesla has very strong support at 300 and 280 and that whole area around that. But it also has very strong resistance, right? And it is, in my opinion, not trending up. It is consolidating here in the main area at this point of time between $360 and $280. And even though I think it's a great company, I think that's more of a reason to not lose support rather than to break out. Ultimately, I also don't think we can break out, even with the earnings data, which we'll get to in a moment. I think there's a possibility we will break out, but I would doubt that that it's most likely. And I would definitely not buy Tesla right now ahead of the earnings. Because of that, I think after earnings there is a possibility we'll break out, but ultimately, technically, Tesla is in a range. When we get to the bottom, that's a buy. But when we get to the top, for now, if you're trading actively, I would say that's a sell. But all right, so talking about earnings, last two earnings, quarter one, we had bad data. That was the bottom. That was right here. All right. Quarter four, 2024, we had good data. It was right here. That was the top, or at least after that we started falling. Now, obviously, there were external factors influencing the prices as well, but ultimately, it's not as simple with Tesla that if they beat the earnings, which they have done for most of the time in the last three earnings dates, that the price will increase and that we will break out of the value area high that we have at 335. And if we have bad data, I don't think that means that we're going to rally like we did the 23rd of April. Look, I think it's most likely that Tesla is just going to respect the technicals. And respecting the technicals in this case means that maybe we'll have one more move up, but that we will drop back down to the bottom of the range right here towards $310 and $300. So this is what I think you should be ready for, and this is what I think you should assume is going to happen. However, and this is what I wanted to end the video with, I think you should be ready for the breakout. And if you want to be ready for the breakout, the main level you need to keep an eye on is right here at 335. right? It's not only a lower time frame respected resistance level, it's also the value area high. So look, it's not only EPS that's coming out, there's a lot of data, right? And if there's something in that data that's very, very good, and we're able, and this is crucial, technically to break above $335 and hold it, right? So not just a spike like this, but actually hold it, then I think you should reject the first assumption that we were going to sell the news, and then I think we can actually rally into 365. So be aware, assume the worst, but be aware of what it looks like when that worst is no longer happening and when we're really breaking out. That is how I think you can best get into an earnings data report like tomorrow. I'll definitely keep you updated on this as well, but for now that's it. So thank you for watching. Be ready. Hopefully you can actually play this well. I will definitely keep you updated on that as well, like I said. But for now, have a great day. Take care and bye.